Alrighty, so y'all seem to really enjoy this, so we're going to keep doing it, and that is reading mean, hurtful things about books I love. So today we're going to be looking at reviews for The Alloy of Law. That's the first book in the second era of Mistborn, and I found that a lot of people that love Mistborn don't necessarily love Era 2, and I don't know for the life of me why. I personally love the second era. I think it's something new and original, but at the same time being familiar because it has all the same, lore and history and all that. And just seeing the world progress is really interesting. And then the characters, absolutely love those. And if you're unaware, the fourth book in the second era is coming out very, very soon. So I'm really excited for that to come out. So it seemed fitting that would be our next sacrifice, shall you say, on the one-star reviews. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the punishment. All right, the first one-star review. This is perhaps a mix of it's not you, it's me scenario and some problems with the book's pacing and why I didn't like this as much as I thought I would. Firstly, I don't like guns in my fantasy books. Why not? They're awesome. That's so unusual and it felt weird. We're talking a fantasy book, right? Like you're reading fantasy, I would assume for a reason, and that's for a fantastical world. So feeling weird is a bad thing? I'm confused. The weapon of choice in this world is guns, and I'm not used to fantasy books dealing with guns. I was having a hard time picturing it in my head. Secondly, the humor. Alright, if they start getting into how they don't like the humor in this book, then me and this person have widely different viewpoints on humor. Because Wayne is seriously one of the funniest characters in the Cosmere. I put him up there with Wit. Absolutely love him. I love humor in books, but the humor in this book felt so forced. I had to roll my eyes every time they cracked jokes. Like, seriously? Really? I mean, yeah, some of Wayne's jokes are a little childish. That's part of the thing you love about him, is sometimes he cracks a joke and you just have to roll your eyes and be like, oh, Wayne. But that's the fun part of it. And lastly, I miss allomancy. There's a ton of allomancy in this book, and not only that, there's new elements to it. Like you learn more about it, and they use it in different ways, and more different ways, and there's more twinborns that have feruchemy and allomancy, so you get a whole mix of it there. And they use it with guns, which also adds an interesting twist to it. Why did he take her with him? Why did he endanger a lord daughter like this? My answer is so that the writer can squeeze a female character in the mix. I completely disagree. It's very well written out why, like, all the motivations of Wax in the book make perfect sense to me, and I think to most people if you read through it. To be fair, I gave up reading it after 3 chapters. You think that's enough to give it a review? I don't think that's enough. Super boring, feels like a cash grab riding on the coattails of the stellar original trilogies. Yeah, I don't think B Money needs any extra money. I think he's good. Contains a lot of gore, so I had no desire to finish it. What book are they reading? Sanderson is very light when it comes to gore, and especially describing gore in like excruciating detail. That's just not his thing. I would say most of his books I would put under closer to a PG-13 rating as far as graphic violence and sex and cursing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he makes up his own cuss words so that he doesn't have to cuss in his books. DNF after the residents attacked because I felt like I already knew all the future plot twists, and I did. Nah, I bet you didn't. It's a heromance, a book for adult boys who like to daydream about heroic deeds and tragic love. It's a little rude. I mean, why do you have to be an adult boy to like heroic deeds? Do other adults not like heroic deeds? What are you even saying there? Since I'm not a boy and I do not wish to be loved from a distance by people half my age, I am not a fan. He just sounds grumpy. Just sounds grumpy. Like, get off my lawn kind of grumpy. I'm so over all of it. the fourth book, and he's still going on and on and on about pushing and pulling and burning metals. It's what the books are about. It's like a lot of the book is about the magic system. It's literally a book about magic stuff. It's a fantasy book. What were you looking for? I don't get it. Was hoping for something creative, but all I got for my $11.99 was the same old Allomancy mechanics, which is, I'm assuming, what you wanted, because that's a big part of the first Mistborn trilogy, with a plot which will likely lead right back to Sanderson's Mormon concept. Ergo, you can be a god if you're a basically good person and you just try hard enough. Has anybody gotten that vibe from any of Sanderson's book? Like, if you're a good person, you can become one of the gods? Because that's not what I've been reading in his books. Like, and spoiler alert, if you haven't already, like, backed out for spoilers, Zazid is like the only good character that I've seen pick up one of the godly powers. Like Kelsier, he's a little gray there. The Lord Ruler, definitely not. Any of the other gods, pretty much. Like, a lot of them are just really bad people. A lot of the people that end up picking up the shards and becoming gods are not good people. That's not a theme that I've picked up. Maybe I'm misreading. Maybe those are all really good people. I don't know. The plot mechanics were more boring than the Mistborn series. It's like anything Sanderson puts out will sell, so why even try to write a decent novel? Yeah, that's not how... Like, right now, yeah, he can slap his name on just about anything, merchandise well, and he'll sell like hotcakes. Miniatures, for instance. Yeah, his stuff is really hot right now. But books, like, they have to be good to get a lot of good reviews and to sell really well for years and years and years down the road. And I think his books do that because, all the sales data show that they sell really well, and the reviews say, like 90% of them, that it's a really, really good book. So I don't think he's so much losing touch with his readers as you're just not one of his readers. And that's fine. If it's a book you don't like, that's fine. Just, you got to hate on the author for it. So it seems to me like a lot of people really fell in love with the Mistborn original trilogy, picked this up expecting more of the same, and it's different. It's got some different aspects to it. The setting is very, very, very different. The plot is very different. It's not a heist plot. You're now on the other side of it. You're on the law-abiding side of it. You're on the vigilante side of it. So it has a lot of differences. The only real connection is that it's set in the same world. So all the magic laws and systems are the same, and you have the same author. So a lot of the characters will feel not similar, but like the dialogue will be up to similar standards as the Mistborn series, which I think is one of the areas that Brandon Sanderson does really, really well, is the dialogue between the characters and fleshing out very complete characters. And I think he does that with this book. They're just very different characters than the Mistborn series. So if you're looking for just a carbon copy of the Mistborn series, yeah, Alloy Law ain't for you. But if you enjoy how Brandon Sanderson writes and the stories he tells, this is an excellent example of that. He does a wonderful job with the characters and the setting. And the magic system is just built upon in this series. It gets even more complex and complicated. So if you've read the first one and you've learned all the rules, well, buckle up. You got more rules to learn, which if that's not something you enjoy, and I understand some readers don't like learning all the rules of magic, then this is not the kind of series for you. But if you're one like me that loves learning all the ins and outs of the magic, this is just step 2 in that process, and it's a fun one. That's going to be it for the 1-star reviews on one of my favorite books. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these comments. Something like that. Also, are you excited about the fourth one? Yeah, the fourth in the series coming out. Number 7 overall in the Mistborn world. I'm really looking forward to it. I am waiting until the book is released to start reading it. Although if you are impatient, you can go to Brandon Sanderson's website and check out the first few chapters completely for free. So if you didn't know, you can go do that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.